Item SCP-1980. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1980 is to be contained within a specialized containment suite designed to resemble a standard 1980s-era one-bedroom apartment, furnished with period-appropriate decor, appliances, and personal amenities. The containment suite must be devoid of any technology or items that date post-1989 to avoid triggering SCP-1980's violent response to modernity. All guards assigned to SCP-1980's containment are to use Foundation-issued equipment manufactured no later than 1989, including communication devices, firearms, and uniforms. SCP-1980's containment suite includes a vintage indoor sports field where it may engage in physical activities. SCP-1980 is to be given 3 meals per day in line with 1980s American cuisine, with all food items prepared and presented in packaging and serving styles typical of the era. Personnel engaging directly with SCP-1980 are required to undergo cultural sensitivity training concerning American 1980s media, fashion, and technology to prevent accidental activation of SCP-1980's aggression triggers. Due to a containment breach incident, see Incident Report 1980-01, personnel are advised to rigorously inspect all equipment before entering SCP-1980's containment suite. Security protocols were strengthened following the breach, including additional checkpoints, enhanced personnel screening, and stricter adherence to containment procedures to prevent further incidents. Description: SCP-1980 is a humanoid entity appearing as a Caucasian male of approximately 30 years of age, with an average build. It displays consistent physical traits regardless of environmental changes, always manifesting with brown hair, styled into a mullet, a prominent mustache, and 1980s-style casual attire. SCP-1980 possesses the ability to alter its physical appearance and features. However, it remains bound to this particular mullet man form, despite its evident capability to adopt alternative appearances. SCP-1980 exhibits remarkable resilience against various forms of physical harm, including resistance to stabbing, blunt force trauma, and ballistic weaponry. SCP-1980's body seems to be indestructible, rendering it immune to all forms of conventional weaponry. It also demonstrates superhuman strength, though the exact limits of its strength have not yet been fully measured. SCP-1980 has, however, shown susceptibility to electroshock weaponry, which can incapacitate it for short periods of time. Additionally, exposure to various lethal gases and toxins can induce temporary illness in SCP-1980, followed by a full recovery without any long-term effects. Behaviorally, SCP-1980 is generally calm, approachable, and seeks to blend in with human society. It displays intelligence consistent with an average human adult and is capable of engaging in normal social interactions. However, SCP-1980 becomes violently aggressive when exposed to modern technology or items from post-1980s periods for extended periods of time. This response has been shown to escalate rapidly, leading to dangerous and hostile behavior. Furthermore, SCP-1980's aggressive state can be triggered by conflicts involving opinions critical of 1980s era culture, including but not limited to music, film, fashion, and political matters. Once triggered, SCP-1980 will enter a state of extreme violence, attacking any nearby individuals without hesitation. During these episodes, SCP-1980 ceases all verbal communication, becomes expressionless, and exhibits an unrelenting focus on killing any human within range, operating with precision and brutal force until it is either neutralized via electroshock or escapes to a perceived safe location. Incident Report 1980-1 Containment breach on SCP-1980 escaped containment following an incident involving unauthorized modern equipment. During a routine check-in, security officer accidentally left a Foundation-issued tablet manufactured in 2019 within SCP-1980's containment area. SCP-1980 quickly observed the device and entered an aggressive state. It proceeded to attack and kill 3 security personnel, confiscating their 1980s-era firearms. SCP-1980 then initiated a large-scale confrontation within Site using the acquired weaponry to disable or eliminate Foundation personnel encountered in its path. The entity moved with strategic intent, retrieving keycards and accessing progressively higher security areas in an apparent attempt to locate an exit. The containment breach lasted approximately 3 hours, during which SCP-1980 killed 22 personnel and injured 41. SCP-1980 sustained no injuries during the event, displaying immunity to ballistic projectiles fired by Foundation operatives. It eventually breached Site's outer perimeter and fled into the surrounding environment. SCP-1980 was later located in Los Angeles, California, where it was discovered attempting to assimilate into a local community. Upon recovery, SCP-1980 had killed an additional 4 individuals, all of whom were in possession of modern electronic devices at the time of the encounter. Recontainment was successfully achieved by a mobile task force unit equipped with 1980s-era equipment and non-lethal electroshock devices. Following Incident 1980-01, containment protocols for SCP-1980 were revised, with mandatory equipment checks and expanded psychological profiling procedures to ensure personnel are capable of maintaining SCP-1980's containment conditions. Addendum. Research notes on SCP-1980's psychological triggers. Initial studies into SCP-1980's cognitive response to 1980s stimuli indicate that the entity harbors an inexplicable fixation on maintaining the cultural norms and technologies of the decade. SCP-1980 shows profound knowledge of American pop culture, political figures, and lifestyle preferences from the 1980s, and expresses approval of these elements during interviews. Attempts to expose SCP-1980 to 1990s or later pop culture items have been met with increasing agitation, culminating in verbal hostility and, if prolonged, physical aggression. During testing, researchers noted SCP-1980's calm demeanor could be maintained by engaging it in topics related to 1980s fitness trends, sports, and music, which the entity often engages with enthusiastically. This has led to the development of behavioral conditioning protocols designed to mitigate potential triggers through 1980s-era conversation techniques and media exposure. Efforts to explore the origins of SCP-1980's 1980s-centric worldview have thus far yielded no conclusive results. SCP-1980 has not disclosed any details about its past and frequently deflects personal inquiries by referencing pop culture slogans and expressions from the era. The Foundation's research department has hypothesized that SCP-1980 may be some form of anomalous cultural remnant that has taken physical form, or a tulpa accidentally created by someone with severe nostalgia for the 1980s, or possibly a time-displaced individual bound by cognitohazardous properties to the 1980s era. Further research is ongoing. End of file.